This is the Baum Guitars Revolt, a brand new model from Baum Guitars' brand new Vega Series, which came out in early 2026. This is a move to a more affordable type of electric for Baum Guitars. These are made in Indonesia, but set up in Denmark, just like the rest of the Baum Guitars range. This specific model with two P90 pickups will set you back €799 as of time of filming, and it comes with a great gig bag as well. Now, a lot of you watching this video may never have had the chance to try out a Baum guitar in person because they're only sold direct by the brand themselves, so you won't have seen them in shops. So hopefully with this video, what I'm going to do is answer all of the questions that you may have had about the Baum Revolt. Now, I'll start by telling you the specs, the features, the info, everything you need to know in that respect. Then I'll play the guitar for you in as many different musical styles as I can manage. And afterwards, I'll give you some of my own personal opinions about the Revolt. Now, Baum Guitars sent this guitar to me for a couple of weeks to make this video, and I've literally been playing it every day since then, and I have quite a lot to say about it. Timestamps to each different part of the video are going to be down in the description and comments if you'd like to go somewhere specific first. But let me kick things off for you now with the specs, the features, the info, everything you need to know about the Baum Guitars Revolt from their 2026 Vega Series. Now, like I've already said, this specific guitar in this specific setup will set you back €799, and it comes with a great quality, chunky, padded, well-fitted gig bag as well, which I would have no hesitation in throwing in a van and taking to a show or anything like that. Really nice gig bag. And it is made in Indonesia, but like all the guitars from the Baum Vega series, it'll be sent first to their headquarters in Denmark, where it'll be set up for the customer, for whoever's buying it, by Baum's team of master luthiers. So every one of these guitars also includes a full and thorough setup. And that's an interesting point, and that's something we're seeing with other brands like Hendrix, for example, who are also doing the same thing. If you buy their guitars online, you're getting a full and thorough setup before the guitar is posted for you. Again, a nice thing to have, especially at this price point. This specific guitar is finished in a beautiful stone blue finish, which is a lovely looking thing, but very, very difficult to show under the lights for a video, but you can see it there. It is kind of similar to something like a Gibson Pelham Blue, but a little bit darker. It's a wonderful looking thing, and I love the double cutaway design that we've got going on here. It's fresh and new, but at the same time, it's sort of achingly retro cool as well. It personally reminds me quite a lot of my own Yamaha Revstar Standard P90 edition, which looks very similar and may sound similar too, because we've got P90s in both of those guitars as well. And if you want to hear a sneaky comparison between those two guitars, well, hopefully that's coming up on my channel very, very soon. So stick around and sub if you haven't already, if you'd like to hear that at some point. And under the stone blue finish, we've got a mahogany body on the Revolt. It's a nice, sleek, thin body as well, much thinner than something like a Les Paul's body, for example. Flat top here, but we've got an armrest going on at the top of the body here as well to aid in the ergonomics. And I think all of the hardware on the guitar, all of the design choices here really add to the visual aesthetic and the retro cool of this guitar. I think the black scratch plate looks great, reminds me of something that you might see on a Firebird or something like that. Then we've got the two knobs here, one's a volume knob, one's a tone knob, but they just look super cool, they're nice and grippy, and I haven't seen knobs that look exactly like this on any other guitars, so really, really cool touch as well. Then we've got a pair of Baum's own Gold Sound Ember P90 pickups with a three-way selector switch to move between them, and a Baum Performer Tunematic style bridge tailpiece operation going on as well. Moving around to the back of the guitar again, you can see that we've got Baum printed neck plate here. It's a bolt-on neck, of course. We've got really decent upper fret access going on as well. And one final thing to mention is that this guitar comes ready to accept Baum's own strap lock buttons, so you can lock your strap onto this guitar. Now, the specific one that I received for this review didn't have the strap locks with it, but I can assume that they would come with the guitar when you buy it. Anyway, if anyone's bought one, let me know if that's the case in the comments. So that much for the body, and the classy retro aesthetic continues as we move up to the neck as well. You can see that straight away with these awesome crown inlays and this really dark, rich looking rosewood fingerboard. The neck itself is made of roasted maple, and it's a really nice satin, slinky feeling affair that Baum actually call their smooth satin silk finish, and it really does feel silky. It feels like a very expensive neck. Now, in terms of neck profile, it's a modern C, I would say, but it's got some chunk and some heft to it too. It's not super thin. It really fills up my hand nicely, and it's very, very comfortable from the first fret all the way up to the 22nd. Now, in terms of frets, we've got 22 medium jumbo nickel frets going on here. The scale length is 25.5 inches. That's Fender scale length. We've got a 42.9 millimeter nut here, and the fingerboard radius is a nice flat, but not too flat for me, 12 inches. And up at the headstock, this is Baum's new Scepter design for a headstock. We've got a set of Baum's own Performer 18:1 gear tuners. So there we go then. This is the 2026 Baum Guitars Vega Series Revolt, and what we're going to do next is play this thing. Now, I am a huge fan of P90 pickups. They're some of my favorite going, and they're some of the most underrated out there, but they are wonderful and different for so many different styles of music, and that's what we're going to try and do with this guitar. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier with a selection of my favorite overdrive, fuzz and distortion pedals, and we'll also use my Source Audio Collider to add some extra delay and reverb when needed. Now we'll start clean, we'll see how pristine these P90 pickups sound, and we'll gradually up the gain levels till we're down in drop D trying some modern metal stuff, because why not? A guitar like this in 2026 should be able to cover all the tonal bases and then some. Enough talk though, this is the 2026 Baum Guitars Vega Series Revolt. Let's play it now and we'll speak in a bit more detail about it afterwards. Okay then, so that was the 2026 Baum Guitars Revolt, and I hope you enjoyed the playing, the riffs and the tones. And you know what to do now. Please leave me a comment down there telling me what you think of this guitar. Are you a fan of P90 pickups, and did you like the ones in this specific guitar? And what about the retro aesthetic of this instrument? Do you like classic looking stuff, or would you prefer a more modern looking as well as a more modern sounding guitar as well? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions as ever. Let's get a bit of a discussion going as we always do. But now it's time for me to tell you my my personal thoughts and opinions about this guitar. And I first saw the Vega Series along with the rest of the world when it was unveiled at the 2026 Birmingham Guitar Show in the UK in spring 2026, and I fell in love with half of those guitars straight away. I've always loved the Baum aesthetic on guitars like their Wingman and so on. They're just great, different, retro, cool looking guitars. And so when the new, more affordable Indonesian-built Vega Series came out, well, there were 2 or 3 models that I wanted to try straight away, and the Revolt in stone blue was definitely one of those. It ticks so many of my boxes, and so when Jeppe and the team from Baum agreed to send me one to make this video, well, I was a very happy man indeed. And when the guitar showed up at my front door, I was very pleasantly surprised to see that it comes in not 1, but 2 very thick and chunky cardboard boxes, and inside the second one, of course, is that really nice, thick, well-padded, snug-fitting Baum Original Deluxe gig bag. I'd have no problems whatsoever in using that gig bag straight away in the real world. It feels like great quality, and it really feels like it's going to look after the guitar, no problems, through pretty much anything. So anyway, great first impressions in that sense. Then I took the guitar out of the bag, and well, I absolutely love the looks of this thing. I love the stone blue finish. I love the double cutaway, the retro cool aesthetic of this guitar, the dark rosewood board, the roasted maple neck. It is a wonderful looking thing. And we have a nice enough weight on this guitar as well. For me personally, I love a guitar to be under about 8 pounds, and this one is just, it weighs in at 3.5 kilograms, which is about 7 pounds 11 and a bit, or something like that. So very much in the ballpark for me for a guitar that doesn't weigh too much. And we've got this double cutaway design, but it balances very nicely when you put on a guitar strap and play it standing up as well. So great first impressions with this guitar then. Then I started to look at the build quality, and this guitar seems to be absolutely immaculate in that sense. Of course, you do get a setup from the Baum team before this guitar makes its way to you, so I was expecting it to be very impressive in the quality and in the playability stakes as well. But in terms of the build quality, all of the electronics do their job very well indeed. You've got the Baum Tunematic type bridge and the Baum tuners here, which do their job very well indeed. The setup on the neck was great, straight from the factory, as I would have expected. Lovely, smooth, satin feeling roasted maple neck. I absolutely love that. Now the frets have all been done really, really well as well. No rough edges or anything like that. Lovely and smooth. Action and intonation totally fine as well. So in terms of the build quality, nothing that I can find to fault this guitar in any way, shape or form. And then I plugged the guitar in and started to play, and in terms of playability, the Revolt is a fantastic playing instrument as well. To come back to this neck, I just love this slinky satin feeling roasted maple feel. It's so comfortable to get up and down. It feels great. I love the shape of it. I love the size of it as well. It just works very well for me. And couple that with the great setup, and the left hand, the fretting hand experience is just wonderful in terms of playability. Now in terms of the guitar's body, it's very, very ergonomic and comfortable. I love the slightly thinner feel of this mahogany body. I love that we've got the armrest here. Makes it very comfortable indeed. It's not just a slab with any sharp edges or anything like that. And special mention to those 2 knobs. I love them. They're just different. They're very grippy and nice. They feel very comfortable to play, and they actually encouraged me to use the knobs on the guitar more, as the pickups in this guitar did as well. And I'll talk about that in the sounds bit in just a second. But in terms of playability, full marks again for this guitar. It plays fantastically well, and it's a very addictive guitar to play as well. Like I said in the intro, I've played this guitar for many, many minutes and sometimes hours every single day since I've had it, and that doesn't happen with every guitar that I get in for videos here. So full marks in the playability sense for the Baum Guitars Revolt as well. And the other crucial thing we need to talk about is the sounds. How good are the tones coming out of these Baum Gold Sound Ember P90 pickups? Well, for me personally, I'm a huge fan of the humble P90. I love its mid-rangey snarl and bark and bite, and I don't care about the extraneous noise that you get. It just works for me. It is a wonderful and surprisingly versatile pickup as well, and massively underrated by the guitar community at large. So more of you need to play P90 pickups. But anyway, the pickups in this guitar, they're not the most P90-esque P90 pickups that I've ever heard in a sense, because they're just a tiny bit politer than some vintage P90s that I've heard. But they are a wonderful sounding P90 pickup nonetheless, and they cover so many musical bases, as you'll have heard in the playing part of the video. Now we started off clean, and straight away you could hear that the bark of the bridge P90 here wanted to break up my amp. So I did roll off the volume just a tiny bit for 1 or 2 of the sound samples, just so you can hear it totally clean. But there is a lot of poke to this bridge pickup, even on the clean channel of my amp. I really love the neck pickup as well. It's quite a jazzy, warm sounding P90, almost dark in some contexts, but a great sounding thing as well. And the 2 pickups together on the clean channel of the amp were wonderful for funk and country and strum chords chords and so on, I could play and noodle on that setting for hours, and I have been doing that. And with a bit of extra delay and reverb from the Source Audio Collider in this case, it just sounds fantastic. But these being P90 pickups, of course they love a bit of drive running through them as well, and when I kicked in my Greer Lightspeed for some indie rock and some alternative rock tones, well, both of these pickups sounded absolutely fantastic with this pedal. Some ripping bridge tones, some lovely warm neck tones, and some great in-between sounds as well. And when I kicked in the Crazy Tube Circuit's Heat Seeker for some classic rock stuff, we got massive amounts of mid-range bark and honk from these pickups. They are a wonderful sounding thing for classic rock stuff. However, I did mention before that I had to play quite a lot with the knobs with this guitar compared to normal guitars. I usually have the volume and the tone full on all the time, but with this guitar it got very, very bright when I kicked in the Lightspeed and when I kicked in the Heat Seeker as well, so I had to wind down the tone knob quite significantly for some of those settings. A different experience for me, and definitely something that has improved me as a player, but just something you might need to be aware of when playing a guitar like this. It's a wonderful sounding thing, but you've got a tone knob, so you may have to use it. Now, a guitar and pickups like this love a bit of fuzz as well, and with the JHS Bender, a tone bender style of fuzz, I thought that the Revolt sounded massive and evil, and it just made walls of ungodly fuzzy noise, which is a great thing, by the way. And in terms of unwanted noise from the pickups, really not too noisy, so that was a very good thing to experience as well. Then we went back to the Heat Seeker on the JCM 800 setting, did some hard rock and some punk rock and stuff like that, and this guitar is great for that as well. Wind back the tone knob a bit to make it a bit woollier, a bit thicker sounding, and just great hair metal tones, great 80s rock tones. We did a great darkness riff as well. And for pop punk stuff, Green Day, Sum 41, Newfound Glory, stuff like that, and alternative rock, you can't go wrong with pickups like this. Finally, we went down to drop D, we kicked in the Rev G3 high gain distortion pedal, and you can metal with this guitar, no problem at all. I was getting a tiny bit of string rattle on the low D string, in this case with some of the riffs there, but it sounds mean and full of clarity and huge for metal stuff. And all in terms of tones, this is a great sounding guitar. Like I said before, it's not a vintage sounding P90 in the way that an old Gibson Les Paul Jr. will sound. It's a more modern sounding guitar. So you've got this retro cool aesthetic matched with modern playability and some more modern sounding, almost hi-fi-esque P90 tones, and it is a wonderful sounding thing to experience, and I'm very happy that I have had the chance to experience it in this way. So if you've been watching this video and you like the idea of the Revolt, but you're wondering what else could be out there in a similar sort of range, well, there's not that much when it comes to double P90 equipped guitars. However, before you go there, I would really recommend that you check out the rest of the Vega series by Baum. Now, I got to try them all at the UK Guitar Show, and the Verve is more of a Telecaster take on this sort of a thing, and the Carve is another double cutaway with P90s, which looks a bit like a cross between a Gibson SG and a Burns guitar or something, and that is a great guitar as well, so highly recommended too for a similar sort of price point. But if you're looking for something with this sort of a vibe with twin P90s, well, the guitar that I name checked at the start is the one that I would recommend you try out too, and that's going to be the standard Yamaha Revstar P90 edition. I actually own one of those guitars, and I'm going to shoot these two guitars out so you get to see how they compare against one another. But the Revstar is just a tad cheaper than the Revolt, and it is a wonderful guitar as well, so I'm really looking forward to comparing those two and seeing how they stack up. Otherwise, you could try something like the Epiphone Les Paul Special. There's a wonderful dual P90 TV yellow version of that guitar that you could probably find for significantly cheaper than this guitar used if you look around in the right places. Or you could go a bit off the beaten track and try something by Vintage. They have the V100 with P90s, that's a Les Paul style, or they have the V65, which is going to be an offset style guitar. I've tried loads of those over the years. They are great guitars as well. Otherwise, there are going to be options by the likes of Gretsch and Larry Carlton and so on. But in terms of dual P90 guitars, I think that the Baum Revolt is going to be an excellent option. And if that's your shopping list, dual P90s, double cutaway, this one has absolutely 100% got to be on there. At the end of the day, I'm a huge fan of this guitar. It looks fantastic, I knew that straight away, but it sounds great too, and it plays like an absolute dream. So it's really a keeper in that sense, and I'm very sad that I have to send this specific one back to the folks at Baum Guitars. But hey, they need to do more marketing with it, so there you go. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see another Baum very, very similar to this reappearing on my channel at some point in future. There's nothing that I can really fault about this guitar. Now, I think the one potential setback you're going to experience when looking to buy this guitar, or indeed beat any Baum guitar is the fact that you're probably not going to be able to try it out in person before you buy it. Unless, of course, you have a friend who owns a Baum already, or if you get the luck that Baum Guitars themselves are in your area doing a show and you get to try them out there. Otherwise, you have to buy these online because they only sell direct. I know that €799 is not the most expensive guitar out there, but that's a lot of money to give away without having had a guitar in your hands and convinced yourself that it's the one for you. However, two things there. Number one, I would say that I've played definitely at least 10 or 20 Baum guitars over the past few years. Every single one has been great. There isn't one that I have had in my hands that I would send back had I bought it. And secondly, I know that if you buy a Baum guitar, they have a 45 days grace period, if you will. So you've got 45 days to play it as much as you want, no strings attached. Well, 6 strings attached, hopefully. And if you decide that it's not the one for you, well, you get to send it back, no questions asked. So that's a great thing as well. Gives you a little bit more security. At the end of the day, though, this is a seriously good guitar. I really, really like it. I would highly recommend it if you're thinking about it. And if you take the plunge, I believe that you will think the same as me. I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you may have had about the Baum Revolt, but if there's anything else you'd like to know, drop me a line down there in the comments and I shall do my best to answer you. If you'd like to see me do more videos with more Baum guitars in future, drop me a line there as well, and hopefully we can make that happen in the next few months. But that's been it for today's video. Drop me a like and a sub if you haven't already, because that really does help. But I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.